The museum's concentration is a program that allows students at Smith to explore the history and the work of museums through a combination of academic experiences and practical experiences.
Before I even applied to Smith, I knew I was interested in museums and cultural institutions and what they do and how they work. And basically when I heard that the museum's concentration was being offered, I thought, wow, Smith, you're reading my mind.
I felt that the museum's concentration sort of encapsulated everything that I was interested in and still am. I'm really interested in museum education and curating, and so the best way is to get experience.
I chose to apply for the museum's concentration program as soon as I heard about it because I have worked in a variety of different aspects that have been connected to the museum. I'm a student museum educator at the Smith College Museum of Art, and I've written papers about works in the museum based on classes, and I just really view the museum as a valuable resource.
I'm just amazed at the seriousness that students are bringing to this and the depth of experience that they've already brought into the program and how strategic they are in thinking about how to build on that through a careful selection of courses, but also carefully chosen practical experiences that give them, I think, a very distinctive exposure to the world of museums for undergraduates.
One of the reasons I applied is because I did a semester away at the Smithsonian and was introduced to sort of the behind the scenes of different art galleries like the Corcoran, different museums like the National Museum of American History at the Smithsonian, and just it gave me a greater appreciation for recognizing that museums are more than just repositories of art pieces, that there are some incredible people that work behind the scenes to present what appears to be just a very beautiful and polished sort of art exhibit.
I studied abroad on the Smith program in Paris for my entire junior year, and then I stayed over the summer in Paris and worked at a small post-impressionist museum, which was a little bit outside of Paris, the Musée Maurice Denis. And it was a really wonderful experience because it was a small museum. I worked very closely alongside the two directors of the museum, and I really was able to get involved with a variety of different departments because it was so small. So I was primarily working on preparations for an upcoming exhibition that opened this past fall.
Getting to come down here and work and actually have this kind of experience that's pretty unique to Smith to be able to work in a conservation lab. I've been doing research into Picasso's methods and materials in order to create a reproduction of one of his paintings that would be accurate in terms of actual materials used, and tried to narrow it down to specific techniques. Hopefully soon I'll get to start painting.
Right, my capstone project. Because I've been working at the Botanic Gardens and the museum, I am really interested in this link between the two. And getting the public interested in that as well. So what I would like to do is work with the education department, teaching an art class in the Botanic Gardens, and then hopefully exhibiting that in the church gallery, which is in the Botanic Gardens. And that would sort of cover my interest in curating and education and art as well.
The Capstone Experience is an important one for students in the concentration from an educative point of view. They've had the experience of sitting in a classroom and getting the kind of deep knowledge that comes from studying books and hearing lectures. They've had the hands-on experience in the real world, but in the capstone, they get to bring those two things together and do something that's original, that's creative, that's intensive, and that's independent. It's a perfect way to end a Smith career.
I think the most valuable thing for me has been the ability to have a practicum at Smith during the senior year. This project is really helpful because of the fact that we have the guidance of the museum and our advisor and whoever we're working with on the project, so we're not sort of left alone in the big wide world at an internship here at Smith, getting really hands-on experience with the help of people who have a vested interest in making sure you're learning something.
I'm doing a research study on how Looking at art through object-based learning engages literacy and critical thinking. I'm working with the German Harena Community School in Springfield. There we're looking at slides and I'm bringing some pictures in and we're talking about the work in the classroom. But we're also going to the museum where the kids have the opportunity to talk about the works right in front of them, which I'm really excited about because it's really different seeing a slide in a classroom versus the artwork hanging on the wall.
Because the face of museums are changing, how do we then reach that next group, that next generation? A museum is a community quilt, you know? It tells the story of so many diverse lives. And for me, it's how do we take that quilt and make the connection in the here and now, if that makes sense. So that's what I'd like to do.